Hi, I'm Jamie. That's Colin. This is Dead Dodge Garage, and this is the Daily Driver Barracuda project. When we last left this car, it got an exhaust, and a carburetor that worked, and some brakes, although there are some mild problems with that. More on that later. Currently though, it's getting suspension pieces, because that's what it needs the most. Because this is his car, that means this job's his problem, so I'm just gonna sit back and point and laugh.
I just know how to wrench on stuff. I don't know how to narrate things.
Well, just tell the people what you're doing
You just told
loudly and occasionally make jokes.
Oh, I'm just gonna start getting stuff, and hopefully you find jokes along the way.
Don't worry about that little guy, that's fine.
Why have we never used a lift before?
I don't know.
Where's the PB? I need to spray the other side now so that that side's easier. Oh, that works.
This is the Chrysler ball joint socket, and it is our friend. You kind of need this to accomplish this correctly.
I hope you have cotter pins.
I do.
We need 20 of them.
I'm gonna go ahead and install some cotter pins on the steering linkage because there basically are none. Also, don't mind the horrible noise in the steering column, that's normal. Hey, did you know every boot in here is torn?
That's why I'm doing the upper ball joints, because I noticed they were torn.
But what about all the other ones?
I didn't look at those.
Oh.
So they're not a problem. Tech tip for separating ball joints.
Should I be under here?
Maybe.
The dust!
Sledgehammer. Hey, look, a wrench. Oopsies. It's going too well. Where's the sockets? Did you know the small one is actually smaller than our small socket?
What?
I knew that going into this.
Now he tells me.
I think the GoPro's just getting my butt.
Ow. That's not ideal.
Tech tip for doing upper ball joints.
Don't. Easy.
All right, we might be pulling arms up.
The level of safety here is getting excessive.
Tech tip. Put a brake line right in your way so you can run into it with a wrench.
Make sure it's brand new too.
Jesus.
Why is everything so tight? It's not even that rusty.
Kind of rusty.
Yeah, but it's not that rusty.
An actual standard wrench.
Yeah. Don't ruin my snap-ons.
Wrench, tech tip.
Are you doubling them up?
Double it if you can fit it.
Nice.
Take a shot every time I say tech tip.
Why would you do that?
Either stripped it or broke it loose. Oh, dude. We're not gonna have a good day.
I guess we're not gonna have a good day.
On this episode, we do a budget suspension overhaul, where we give up and put it back together with the old junk.
Cotters? Pinned! That's the good news. It's been a recurring theme on this channel that you never really see me do anything. It's a comment I've gotten a lot, in fact. So today, thought we'd do a nice guide video, you know. You could actually see how a project is completed and get an idea of what you'll have to do if you want to do it. Unfortunately, things didn't really work out. And it's at this point in the video that it becomes something very different. A nightmare.
Yeah, that's about how that's going. Okay.
This'll fix it.
Did you oil it properly like you should with your air tools every time you use them? This air hammer sucks. I take it back. That's a good one. What, handle? Socket.
It's a good socket.
Yup, I'm going home.
Ow!
Hadn't thought of that. How long have we been doing this? And that's the first upper controller bolt we break.
Gotta be a camber bolt here somewhere. Yeah, call the cops. Everything's going great as usual. Oh, you.
Have faith.
Alright, fine. I mean, it's cutting it, but at what cost? So you're saying we should
out the shop. We might not go back in.
Sure we gotta do all this just to change the oil though? Watch your fingers and your face. Wow. What is with this thing?
So gently hammer that back the other way without hitting the brake line. I'm sure this is gonna go back together really nice.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Ancient Chinese secret. Oh, come on.
Thank God for that.
Why didn't we take the shock out again?
I don't know.
Dude.
Thought it was funny.
Dude. Just be longer.
Already broken.
Have you ever read on snap-on screwdrivers where they say they're not a punch, chisel, or a pry bar? Ridiculous.
Luckily, Matco screwdrivers.
Say no such thing.
Hit it like you mean it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Just hammer the frame that way. Carefully.
Yeah, carefully.
Obviously, this is what we're gonna do. Usually gotta bend these out to fit the offset bushings anyway.
This is totally normal, basically.
Really doing a favor.
Right. Thank you.
Dude, what's the brake line?
Okay, I think we all learned a valuable lesson.
Now we just replace it with tubular. Today on Dead Dodge Garage, we remove one control arm and leave the Barracuda on the lift for 2 months.
We've been working on these cars well over a decade, and that's never happened to us before. Not once. What a debacle. Everything's going terrific, basically.
The vice says no.
This is super bad.
It's not good.
Can we just air chisel this? That's how you do that. And it only took all day.
The other side will be easier, right?
Maybe we'll pre-spray it.
I already did?
4 more times.
4 more. Uh-oh.
What?
Running out of PB. Ooh. That might work.
I guess this is how you do this? Wow.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
Didn't
rotate
actually
your...
think that was gonna work.
Why have we never done it this way?
I have.
It's called problem solving. Yay. Second one's way easier. Woo!
Ball joint press is our friend.
But not for pressing ball joints.
Not in this case.
You gonna clean that control arm up before you reinstall it? Right over the oil. Wow. Bold.
Case ready.
Nice. This is an offset upper control arm bushing for a Chrysler product. The purpose of this device ostensibly is to repair crash damage and try and get the alignment right after bad stuff has happened. But what it's really good for is getting extra keister. By offsetting these bushings in the correct direction, you're able to move the upper ball joint rearward in the car, thereby changing the keister angle and improving the handling significantly. Now it's really important to install these the correct direction. Don't ask me how I know that. The arrow points in the way of offset. You want the front one offsetting that way and the rear one offsetting that way. He's carefully aligned the front bushing using science.
Pointing away from the ball joint, probably. If you're careful,
I'm not.
you could press right on it. Let's try it.
Okay. I'm not gonna be careful though.
If you happen to have a broken off cam bolt.
I think you've convinced yourself.
Oh,
Full send. Grease. Nice.
it's offset.
Yep. It's a bushing. I got grease on my arm.
Good.
It's not ideal.
Pre-greasing. And now we're gonna offset this one away.
We offset the other one away.
So we're pointing this one. Wait.
Hold on.
What?
Are we sure about that?
Yeah. Because you want the back.
That way. But the bolt's here.
Do we do it backward?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
You point that one away from the ball joint, and it moves the arm that way on it.
Yeah, forward. Wrong way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you read the instruction, if you read the yeah. So, oopsies. I was gonna write this down so we didn't do it backward, and then I thought, oh, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're doing.
All right, that one was just for practice.
That's how you don't do it. So it's like we said, we point this toward the ball joint.
We did say that, then we just didn't do that.
Did we say that?
I don't know.
Oopsies.
Arrow points to the ball joint.
Oh, and then we gotta use
on the front.
Shorter. Yeah. There. This is gonna go. This arrow was toward the ball joint. This one's away.
So, for the 89th time,
Ball joint.
the arrow on the front one goes toward the ball joint, and the arrow on the back one goes away from the ball joint. Are we happy?
I want to do that.
I hope we're happy. You probably could do this by yourself, but it would suck.
Ready for a ball joint. Have you pointed out to the viewers at home that have never done a Chrysler ball joint that these are threaded ball joints?
These ball joints are threaded. So don't try to press them out and in or beat them with a hammer. It will work once.
And then you end up welding ball joints to the top of your control arms.
Allegedly.
We've only done that once.
Just the one time. And it actually wasn't our fault.
Oh, sometimes starting a new one sucks.
You
Just
don't.
kidding, this one's mint.
Nice. Tech tip, as some guy keeps saying.
Yep.
Install the boot before you install the ball joint control arm assembly onto the car and tighten the nut.
There's no hole in this, I don't actually. Why is there no cotter pin? Oh, wait.
Hey,
Yeah,
you should put the washers on.
it's a good idea.
Bushing washers. Small one on the inside,
Yeah,
big one on the outside. I don't think that's...
we could just do one at a time.
Remember how we used to use a giant cheater bar for our old Vice?
Yeah.
And then we broke it in half?
Oh.
There she goes.
Why don't regular upper control arm bushings have these?
I don't know. You know what we didn't get to this weekend?
What?
Rod run.
Oh man, that's weird.
We have a long-standing tradition of not remembering when Rod Run is and not going there. It's just the biggest, coolest car show anywhere near to here.
This year we learned it's the weekend after Labor Day every year.
And I'm sure we'll remember that forever.
Yep.
If you actually like your Vice, don't do any of this. And that's how they make a regular Plumbus.
If there weren't really nice cars right here, I'd probably throw this at the Barracuda. Darn it. Good to go.
Common problem, even when you don't totally destroy the frame brackets like we did, the control arms don't like to fit back in there. There's often some prying and plying and or hammering involved. Wow. For as hard as it was coming out, that might be one of the easiest installs of all time. All right, go ahead and install your camber bolt. Singular. Oh, yeah. And then go over to your perfectly good swinger and rob another cam bolt. You know, I was planning to put a drivetrain in this thing in the coming weeks, but no. See, this is what's supposed to happen. They're supposed to just like come loose.
This looks really safe. I don't have enough hands for this. Never mind.
Right then.
That's just how that goes.
Well, yeah, if I hadn't gotten this tool, you would have needed it. So what do we put back in there so I can reattach the wheel? Like a stick or? It's seriously just gone now?
Yeah.
It's with Jesus? Oh, it's gone forever.
Nope, that was a rock.
That wasn't a rock, it was a rock lobster.
Here's your stick to replace it.
Thank you. It's perfect. Come on, guy.
We're in a really good streak here.
Okay, all right.
Did you get it?
No, I gotta hit my hand with a hammer.
Not
So
just
that's
that,
the
the losing the lock was.
I can't believe you would do that.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Tech tip, always leave your light magneted to customer cars that are gonna drive away with your light still on it. Where'd that wrench go?
Like it never happened. We haven't even started on this one yet. Remember that time this retainer shot off and hit the charger? That was fun. I remember in my heart. It's called problem solving. Oh yeah. Sure, it looks casterly, I guess. So the technique I've been using is to offset it all the way out on the front and then set the camber with the rear one. It works. Something like that is at least in the ballpark. The washer's down-ish, and the front one's that direction. Now, rather inconveniently, we're on a lift without jack stands, and we can't get the ball joint back in the taper, which is a thing that happens sometimes. In fact, I just had exactly the same problem on a mail truck. On the mail truck, I had to put weight back on the rear wheels to get that to go together with a jack at the front. Unfortunately, we currently don't have rear wheels, so that's gonna have to wait. We could also loosen the torsion bar adjuster and then just swing the spindle up, but apparently we're not willing to do that. Say a prayer, because now we gotta do the other side.
Better already.
You want me to come break another bolt?
Maybe. Well, that happened.
Proud of yourself?
Not really. Well, here we go again.
It's not,
That's really safe.
it's not loose. And it's not loosening either.
Air hammer?
Air hammer.
I think that's the lesson we learned.
Basically, yes. Yeah, so that one's broken, and that one's seized in the sleeve. Everything's going as expected, basically. I swear we just did all this. Let's do the suspension, he said. It'll be quick and easy, he said.
It's supposed to be.
All right, fast forward to the future where this sucks less. Yes. Right on time as usual. Remember how the radiator had leaked, but then it magically stopped leaking? Well, it magically started again now. Yep. Oh, what, are you having problems hearing? What? Obviously do that. Yeah. Now do it again. This is dumb, and I hate it. You'll know it's starting to give it up when you see the rusty dust flying out. Also, we might have made some modifications to the frame here with a hammer. Nailed it. We, you know, modified it slightly. It's still hot.
Do you have any words of wisdom or humor?
Think we learned a valuable lesson? Don't.
Just don't.
This ain't good. I'm gonna try and make it less bad.
Why won't you focus?
Hey, should that do that? I feel like it shouldn't. I made it worse. I can't pry it out. That plate doesn't want to move.
I have faith. Tech tip. Buy the right size socket.
It's getting better. You know, this car's not that rusty. This shouldn't be like this. It did sit in a field for like 30 years, I guess. Anyway, hopefully if you try this, it'll be less bad. It usually is. Either way, let us never speak of this again. Unlike that bolt, this bolt isn't a quitter. which is good because I really don't want to keep parting out my dart, and I'd like this thing off the lift. Safety sometime. You gotta go another skosh there. Okay, time for an actual tech tip. Not all of the time, but occasionally these bushings have an extra reinforcing sleeve here. You know, that goes over the bushing like that on the back side of the arm where there's nothing else there. We don't really know why. Out of the 4 upper control arm bushings on this car, it only had 1. They usually don't have any. Unfortunately, we were pressing against that sleeve instead of the inner sleeve, and we kind of boo-booed the arm a little bit. So watch out for that if you're going to attempt this. If you do find one of those, just press the rubber section out or set it on fire, and then with a Sawzall, cut that inner sleeve. Then it pops right out. Also, careful with that Sawzall blade. This is how you do this. Carefully. Apparently, it's much easier to deform these arms than to reform these arms. So, that one's scrap, and we're gonna get another, I guess. So, you're gonna do your brakes now?
No, I'm gonna put this back together.
Oh.
Reuse them.
Yeah, okay.
I think they're fine.
Oh, wow. Brakes. Easy.
That was the last time either of us had eyes.
I need at least one of them.
Oh,
no!
Oh.
Nice.
Should work.
Punch the shoes. That always helps. Had to pop the bleeder. You know, residual pressure. Also, it helps when the arm is lined up. So in the last video on this car, when we test drove it, there was an absolutely horrible noise coming from the back of the car. We figured it out. It's fixed now. Yay! Admire the special skirted small bolt 8 3/4 drums. Now you gotta set your adjuster so your drum just barely goes on. That's too much now, guaranteed.
Turn it. Ah.
Oh! Get good.
I knew what I was doing.
All right.
Boom.
And now he just has to do the other side. While my radiator gently weeps. Gee, I wonder why adjusting this didn't work. It's sometimes breaks.
The pedal's pretty tall.
Oh, is it tall? Wow. It's brakes.
Let's solve that problem.
So you're just gonna hang out up there then? Small ball joint control arms. Oops. All lefts. The Dodge Garage After Dark. Yet again. Yep. Things are going great. Safety squints. Nice. Often, to reconnect the upper ball joint, you gotta jack the control arm up so they meet. I recently learned you can't do that while the car's up on the lift. You need the back wheels on the ground. Otherwise, the death thing will happen. Who's ready to shake hands with danger? Easy. Nobody blink. Oh, God. Oh, also, while we weren't licking, this previously perfectly fine brake started leaking fluid everywhere, too. Hooray! Are you for serious right now?
This is quite possibly the stupidest operation I've ever been a part of.
The good news is, whatever, they're out, I guess.
God. Now let's put this bushing in backward.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. We're right back where we were some time ago. So just to recap, the one important point in all of this. The rear bushing, the arrow points inward.
No, toward the ball joint.
Oh, God.
Because we're offsetting.
No,
What?
that's wrong.
What?
That offsets it out. The arrow is
right,
the direction of offset.
Yeah, that was a test. You passed.
I guess the real lesson here is if you try to do this, everything is going to go wrong and you'll forget how the bushings go. The arrow points in at the rear because you want the back
In toward
to
the
go
frame.
inward. And
In
the
toward the
arrow is the way that it's offsetting the arm. Ergo, the direction it's moving the ball joint.
Okay.
That almost went badly just like everything else. Look, I'm helping. Tappy tap tap. Yay.
Thank God for that.
And it only took 3 days. You still got to restore that one though.
Oh, sure.
It's almost too nice for the car now. Except that you didn't remove any of the grease or the rust. So, what you got there?
A smoothie.
Why is it so big? Could I have just replaced this nut? Yeah, of course I could, but I don't know, we've been through so much together. I almost can't believe this, but one of our control arms is almost fully installed.
Pretty good.
We can almost get back to what this video was supposed to be about. All I know is that it's this o'clock. This guy doesn't drink, and after seeing this debacle, I have no idea how.
Ugh.
Well, you gotta get one for the grams?
That's right.
Hey, it's done.
No, we gotta tighten that.
You said it was done.
I lied.
Yay! Like it never happened, except for all the parts we ruined. Well, okay. Yeah, no pump stop to tear off for once. That's probably only because I tore it off the first time. I don't know what could possibly be wrong with this radiator. It seems fine. You've heard of bodywork, right? Why does nothing ever go the way it's supposed to go? Never. I think I had a spare upper hose somewhere. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's basically fixed forever. This ginormous radiator actually sits lower than the one I took out, so at least there's that. And don't worry about the hose rubbing on the hood. I don't really see that as a problem. LOL. Spooky. Excuse me. One of these things is not like the other. Fun fact, A-bodies are longer than E-bodies. No, I could swear he said he snugged these bolts. That's right. It's alignment time. Okay. Right side's unalignable. This was a humongous waste of like 2 hours. Oh yeah, plus diesel. Tune in next time when we make the handling way less bad. Maybe.